Lyonel Baratheon's identity leaks out of him the moment he appears on screen. It's in how he's dressed, how he carries his body, how little he seems to care whether he's liked or approved of. He is completely at ease with who he is, strengths, flaws, and all. If you've ever wondered what a man looks like when he is unapologetically himself, look no further than the laughing storm. Lyonel isn't on screen for long, but his presence dwarfs nearly everyone else in the room. Even characters who technically outrank him feel smaller when he speaks. So why is he so likable? Why does his presence feel so solid, so embodied, so alive? The answer starts with one word: certainty. Lyonel behaves as though he already belongs everywhere he stands. When he interrupts a party to announce that he's had a profound thought, he doesn't ask for permission, he assumes attention. That kind of assumed self-importance usually comes off as arrogance, but in his case, it doesn't, because it's authentic. He isn't pretending to be important. He genuinely believes his thoughts are worth hearing. This is a dangerous line to walk. Most people fall on one side or the other, either too timid to claim attention or so desperate for it that it becomes off-putting. Lyonel walks the middle path. He speaks boldly but without insecurity underneath it, and people feel that. At first, the room doesn't respond. His philosophical question hangs in the air. For a brief moment, it looks like he's just a drunk noble rambling nonsense. Awkwardness creeps in. Most people would retreat at this point. They laugh it off, apologize, or shrink back into the crowd. Lyonel does the opposite. He doubles down. He throws out an outrageous offer, gold and opportunity, and instantly reframes the moment. What could have been social embarrassment becomes intrigue. He understands two deep truths about people: they like reward and they like challenge. In a single move, he transforms himself from that loud guy into the most interesting person in the room. But this isn't just a party trick. That offer does something far more important. It reinforces the identity of House Baratheon. Lyonel doesn't just talk, he provokes, he challenges. The Seven gave you height, he implies, so be tall. This is a core Baratheon trait. They challenge others openly, even strangers. Most people avoid social challenges because they fear discomfort or rejection. Baratheons lean into it. That's why they're magnetic. A challenge creates tension. Tension creates engagement. And relationships that survive tension become far deeper than those built on endless politeness. Lyonel understands this instinctively. He isn't trying to dominate the room, he's inviting people to rise to him. This dynamic becomes even clearer in his interaction with Dunk. Lyonel isn't threatening him, he's testing him. He pushes, then watches carefully. When Dunk responds honestly instead of submissively, Lyonel loves it. He doesn't punish resistance, he rewards it. This creates a push-pull dynamic that accelerates trust and respect faster than hours of safe conversation ever could. What's important here is that boundaries aren't being violated, they're being established. The communication is clear even without words. This is how I operate, meet me here if you can. Once that understanding exists, everything else becomes easier. Lyonel's confidence isn't performative. It doesn't come from titles, symbols, or crowns. When the crown ends up on Dunk's head, no one is confused about where the real power lies. The message is unmistakable. The crown isn't authority, I am. Symbols matter, but only when backed by certainty of self. So where does this certainty come from? Is Lyonel simply arrogant? No, there's a deeper psychological anchor underneath it. Lyonel tells a story about driving into the storm. Others had done it before him, so he knew he could too. What he's really communicating is a worldview. We all choose who we become. The people who came before us weren't special, they were decisive. The storm isn't something to avoid, it's something to face head-on. This is the core of Lyonel Baratheon's identity: passion. Intention, awareness of the room, and above all, certainty. These traits turn his personality into a weapon. That's why he welcomes conflict instead of avoiding it. Conflict is where identity is tested and refined, but there's a final warning embedded here. Confidence like this only works if it's real. If you challenge others without substance, the storm will eventually overwhelm you. Lyonel can afford to provoke because he can stand his ground when challenged back. That's the lesson: be bold. Be authentic, invite tension, but make sure you can back it up because the storm always answers.